Alright guys, welcome back. We're hopping right into the game. Let's put a pause on that music. We'll stave off the intros for the time being. It's a brand new best of 3. This is essentially the semifinals. As we get through the losers bracket, the winner of this will fight against Yoda for the grand final slot for the last chance to qualify for the group stage, the Korean stage of our tournament, the fight before Christmas. Big thanks and shoutouts go to, of course, Chairs for Gaming and CM Storm, helping support many tournaments over the last half of a year, and us in general here at Base Trade TV. Without further ado, though, spawning in the top right corner of the map, it's going to be Axiom's Blue Zerg player, Impact.
The bottom left as the pink Protoss, it's Patience.
Alright, Zamriga, how good is your Korean? What are they saying?
It's not very good. I don't know what they're saying at all. I can read it. I can say it. I don't know what I'd be saying, though.
City bus.
Exactly.
Okay, I don't know what they're saying, but the thing is, here's what I know. Impact and Patience, really nice guys. I mean, I'm talking about not StarCraft for a second, guys. Like, personality-wise, talking with both of them in the past, interacting with them for several tournaments, like, Impact and Patience are both absolutely the nicest, most fantastic people. I would love to see either of them get through, but sadly, one is going to be eliminated here. So, I mean, whether they're friends or whether they're foes, whatever the case is, like, they're going to both have to play really hard because there's only one Korean qualifier. There's only one qualifier per region. Unlike 32 Boys 1 Cup, we don't have 2 qualifiers set out. They can't re-qualify through something else. But, you know, if we find out that there's like some fan favoritism, if like, let's say Impact gets knocked out here, we can always invite him back for the wildcard group, for the wildcard slots. So, again, it's not a guarantee and it's not a promise, but there's always that option. We've got 4 slots available for after invites, after all the qualifiers conclude. And any one of these guys could come back. Kind of like a resurrection card, I guess.
Sure. Resurrection spell. I don't know what these card
The card
businesses.
graveyard.
It's card business.
Yu-Gi-Oh!
Disgusting. I really like Yu-Gi-Oh, but I just can't stand, you know, Hearthstone now.
Really, I couldn't watch this show. I remember trying to watch that like after school.
No. The card game.
I know. I'm just saying, like the show was not good.
Oh, well, like the card game was actually really fun.
I actually really like the abridged series or whatever they have on YouTube, where they do
Everyone
the voiceovers.
likes the abridged series. Oh my god.
It's funny, but. Alright, anyways, aside from the intro of Yu-Gi-Oh being incredibly addictive, Patience gets a pretty nice scout off over here. He's gonna see no gases. This might not tell him right away that there's a faster third slapdown, but he's pretty much guaranteed to go check that out afterwards.
Impact doesn't wait to throw down 2, just throws down the 1 now.
Well, yeah, I mean, usually this gets split up too, right? Like, you put 1 in the natural, 1 in the main, or 2 in the natural, 0 in the main. I mean, there's like Zerg mind games to go on, man.
Yeah, there is. Not so much here, though. Patience does see everything. He'll have that probe on the map, too. It's just, like, it can go wherever it wants to now. So, you know, usually if you have 2 lings, even, you can run around, make sure that it doesn't stay in the upper left and have a pylon ready to go. Now you're going to have to always worry about where did that probe go? Did it go back home? Is it out there putting down a pylon because you put down gateways? It's going to be what it does, too. I mean, that probe's going to go back. It's going to go maybe to the gold, maybe to the fourth.
Well, as you know, this probe actually normally is a lot scarier than it is. These 3 gateways, what the hell? He doesn't see that third one. But Patience is not really known for being an early game cheeser. Like, you give me Patience in a pool of just general Protoss players, like, he's going to be always at the bottom of my list to be like, that guy's a cannon rusher. So for Impact's sake, like, he comes into this, and this is part of why he's able to get away with this third base so freely and without too much fear, but he is going to have to worry about this 4-gate follow-up. Now, 4 gates off 2 bases, hardly the all-in that we're learned to loathe and fear, but he has scouted that there are, in fact, 4 gateways down at this point. So, as Patience starts getting pylons up on the other side of the map, this third base is going to be under some very serious pressure.
It's a pretty quick 4-gate, too.
Like Impact has to stop making drones right now. If he makes another drone, he could be dead.
Yeah. It is off. It was off of 1 gas. He throws on another one out here, though. But, you know, obviously Impact's not going to have a Roach Warren by this time. It's lucky that he scouted when he did, as the Roach Warren is finishing now. But, you know, otherwise it would have been finishing, would have only started now. So he'll have to hold on for Lings and a Queen. These Queens have to survive to take in the Militia Corps, though. Or the Roaches. With the Roaches already on their way, though, I think Impact will be fine. But Patience behind this, he can slap down 2 more gas geysers. He can go into a Immortal Sentry that's very popular, especially on this map.
The nice thing for Patience as well, he hasn't over-dedicated to this yet. Again, with 4 gates, it's very easy to accidentally spend too many minerals, but too much gas. But in a pretty okay spot for now. With the Stalkers, you can outrun the Roaches off of creep. There's not going to be speed for these bad boys, so it's pretty easy to get away. It's always about not losing that Mothership for him, so he's trading out pretty decently. In fact, gets a Roach for what is just shields on the Stalkers. Not too bad.
Yeah. Well, the player with the Stalkers is so much more, it's fun and you can actually do it, as opposed with Zealots. I mean, you can micro Zealots, but they're gonna die. They're mostly just there for fodder, and if they can attack, that's great. But Stalkers, you warp in 4, they'll run around, they'll outrun any unit if speed isn't on the field, which it's not, which is kind of a guess by Impact, or by Patience. He saw a gas go down in the main of Impact. It was actually canceled, so that explains a lot, but if there were speedlings, he could have been forced to recall.
Well, scouting with the Phoenix, but since we have a bit of a break, I want to give a big shout out to Hypnotic Bird. Just subbed to the channel. Thanks for that support, man. Much love. But the Phoenix does get a full scout off from main to third, so he knows exactly what's going on here for Impact. He doesn't see something cheeky like a Spire. He sees the Evo Chamber. I mean, it's a big relief not seeing a Hydralisk Den come down either. Everything for Patience so far just going his way. Not to say that he's ahead massively. It's not like he's knocked Impact out of the game, but I mean, pretty much everything according to plan. The Stalker's not dying, picking up a Roach for free, getting that third base up at home pretty comfortably.
Yeah, but this is a lot to do off the back of a pretty fast 4-gate. Again, if Speedlings were on the way, that would have been like the Stalker surrounded, recall, a counterattack. And the third is under a lot of pressure, followed up by Roaches. But as it is, like, no counterattack happened. Now, Impact is attacking now, but at a time where the Nexus is probably going to be done and Emotion Core is going to be ready for a cannon. He could still do a lot of damage, though, and he's definitely looking to do a lot of damage. I think at least a kill on the Nexus or most of the sentries.
Also, there's the Zealot that's got 4 kills on it. In Legacy of the Void would have died due to the warping mechanic change. Just fun fact.
FYI.
And I'm really sad to see what changes they do. I mean, it's at the point where everyone's having so much fun with that mod, but it's going to get balanced and tweaked, and I really want to know where they take it, because I personally can't think of anything. You're like, everything's broken, balance everything, all the things.
Well, there's a whole theory about if everything's overpowered and everything is overpowered, but I do like that apparently Blizzard is actually paying attention to the fan mod, so that's really cool.
Well, Roaches without speed are perhaps not that scary, and it's certainly not that good at retreating, so does fall back to the Lings, but with some force field should be able to cut this off. Impact coming around from behind, though, gets a okay surround, but not quite able to connect those sentries, so not going to be the best attack here of his life, but does waste a lot of his opponent's force fields.
Speed wasn't quite done for Impact. Maybe he could have gotten on top of more of those sentries if that was the case, but it's done now. Burrow and Tunneling Claws on the way. And +1 melee as opposed to a missile, which is not going to be as useful, but hey, this is planned. Counterattack, so before a 4th goes down, he counterattacks, and well, there's no probes here, so I guess he kills the cannon. That was like beautiful pylon management too on that cannon.
Does cost him his gold though, so it's, I mean, a cannon for a base. Ugh.
Yeah. Well, the thing is though, is that Impact also sees. Oh, nice Burrow. Also sees that the third wasn't really that mine. Like the gas geysers went down. There weren't a lot of probes at that time. Now they're all transferred over. But if he can just hold this, push it back and force a recall, kill a couple. Okay, forces a recall. He could still macro out of this.
Impact's making me feel a little bit giddy here with these Burrow tactics. I'm loving the Tunneling Claws that's about to match up with this. I mean, the only reason this force is good against Roaches is not because Stalkers are inherently counter to Roaches. I mean, they are in certain numbers, but it's mostly the fact that the sentries keep everything back. Hell, even the Immortals are not that good against this many Roaches. It's the force fields to segment them off and let them be effective. If you've got those Burrow Tunneling Claws, you're just going to move right underneath those force fields like nobody's business, and you're going to kill everything. Look at that regen too, by the way. This cannon can't even kill a Roach.
He didn't get an Observer. he's getting a couple of Mortals out, but no Observer.
No, this already went out. It's with the main army.
Oh, it's on the army. All right, so that's.
But still,
good.
it's not even the detection. Like, you don't care if you're seen or not. You're moving to escape, right? Like, so cannon's been killed here at the third base. A couple of the probes were killed. Not exactly crazy amounts. 5 probes die, but these Roaches should get cleaned up. Still, they're trying to draw Patience out into a bad open area so we can take that fight, so we can kill off those sentries and just murder everything else.
Yeah, but Patience did a really good job. I mean, this Observer does 2 things. I mean, obviously it detects the the burrowed roaches, but it also just, you know, makes sure that none sneak up on the back or on the front, and he still has force left over. And Impact, well, his supply looks really great. Roach supply is bad supply.
Yeah, but oh man, the heal on the roaches, they're really trying to come down here through the third. Like, as scrappy as that was, like, I think this kind of worked out pretty well for Impact. You know, he's got a couple of roaches in the main. They're picking off stalkers too. He's sneaking into some off here to pick up the probes. There's no mining going down at the natural at all. And he's even going to see, oh, he sees the Dark Shrine coming too.
Yeah, that's nice. More some overseers, some spore crawlers. It was kind of like equalizing. You know, the problem comes up to Patience not knowing what's coming next. Lost a lot of probes though. I mean, he went up to 60 is where he'd want to be. Now he's down to almost 40. But yeah, the Spire is what's most worrying. If Impact was following up with me, more roaches, Roach Hydra. Patience could still work some magic with the force fields, but Mutas, I don't think he's prepared for that.
No, and I mean, like, I guess technically the Dark Temple could become Archon, so you could argue like this may work versus that. But I mean, when you're investing in Stalkers like this, you're not looking for a tech swap. You're looking to keep going into Stalkers. So I mean, it's weird. These units that require the snowball effect to be the best and most effective, but a Warp Prism over here on the right side has been snuck off. Patience waiting for a way to get that into the main. Meanwhile, in the middle of the map, still posturing here with these roaches. In fact, I mean, the sigh of relief is that he's not going to get caught by force fields. He can burrow, he can move out. He'll lose a couple of roaches, sure, but it's better than losing all the roaches.
The Mutas are about to be revealed. They're flying over to the left side, which means they won't be able to take care of this War Prism. Four Zealots do go into the main. They can start attacking the drones or the Queen, or even target on the Spire. That might not have been bad. Impact does react, though.
He's picking up pylons. That's a bit of a mistake. I don't know. I think he could probably get a focus on this Nexus with everything he had. But yeah, with the army responding, this means there's nothing in the main but a couple of cannons, and these Mutas are going to take that out really quickly. Meanwhile, back at home, 3 Zerglings, sorry, 3 drones have died, but with Dark Templar is finally getting warped in. Overseer starts, but he's got to deal with this pretty quickly. DTs are in both bases, both spaces, and these drones are going to die.
Burrow!
Yeah, burrow the drones. There's no detection. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you never remember the Burrow.
Oh, he's going to lose his Spire.
Oh, he's going to get the Spire.
Ooh, that cancels the weapon upgrades too, but have the Mutas already done enough damage? They've killed most of the probes in the main. They're going to kill the Nexus as well. There's still pressure towards this third with those roaches. I mean, Patience doesn't exactly have a lot of breathing room following this up.
Well, it does come down to now Patience has the opportunity to win an army. I mean, if they're buying enough time like this, usually they're also adding on more and more Mutas until like you try and you finally get fed up and you attack and they're up to 40 Mutas and you're still stuck at 20 Stalkers. 20 Stalkers versus 19 Mutas with as many Immortals as he has, the Roaches really won't do a whole lot. You could technically win a fight.
Losing that Warp Prism was pretty nasty. I think that's one of the better things Patience had going for him, because he could have potentially still warped in Dark Templar and Zealots. But now it's just a purely defensive game for him. And can he win? Oh my god, look at these cannons. This is... well, half of them get picked off, but...
I think that was his plan, though, is that if all of those finished, he would try and attack, considering that the Spire did die.
He's playing a tower defense. I love it, Patience. I love it.
It's like cannons are good and all because you have to have a base up that's right, but I feel like that's 800 minerals that you did want in your army.
It's far more than 800 minerals. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Oh right, they're not 100 to 150.
Yeah, plus the ones you lost / didn't cancel. But okay, so right now, as far as this goes, Unit County Station, it's not like Patience can't take a good fight. It's just going to be incredibly difficult because the way Mutas can be mobile and regenerate their health so quickly, it's going to be really difficult to force Impact into a position where Impact's going to throw the game.
Yeah, and now Impact can just do what Patience is doing, but in a more mobile way, which is to make spine crawlers. Then you can defend any base as long as you have an eye on the Protoss army.
Yeah, I mean, he's maxed out. Yeah, that's a really good point. But he's got no tech, right? Like, there's no upgrades for this. There's +1. I mean, really, it's not much. The Mutalisk are, of course, naked because he lost that Spire. So, coming into this, is he just going to base trade it? It's risky. There's so many cannons. Are we... Cannons, please?
That might be enough cannons to make him decide not to go for the third. He's going to go for the natural, it looks like, and, of course, the main, too, but... That means that Patience is still warping in. Patience is still climbing in supply, although very, very slowly. Oh, well, no, actually, he's going to get supply blocked.
It's a base trade, but Impact's literally going to trade bases. He starts placing a bunch down on Patience's half of the field. Even if he loses everything at home, which looks to be the case, I mean, he is just... Oh, do you think he's got a better army? It's more in number, but is it more in efficiency?
Impact?
Archon's
yes.
out, too. Yeah.
Impact has 19 mutas on the way. That's what's gonna win him the game.
Oh yeah, there are 20. A couple of them are going to spawn on top of Stalkers, but you're right. Like I think it's that massive count is just going to be a little too much to deal with. The Roaches don't even need to fight the Immortals because as long as they take out the Archons for the mutas, it's smooth sailing from there.
There's a lot of army spreading going down, but Impact, he had over 1,000 minerals to just like go everywhere, and that's exactly what he did. Patience did not have that same luxury. He's pretty much just depending on defending this gold base that he set up. But then you're back to the whole, like, you know, Protoss can't move out, so you're kind of going to lose anyways.
Well, base trade hype. We got a gold base coming down from Patience. Wants to make sure it doesn't completely get eliminated from this game. But for Impact, like, he's got to be careful. As he goes up this ramp, he could have got trapped up here. Like, this could have been everything. Not because the force field would have gone down, but you never want to move into a concave of Immortal Stalkers and Archons.
But Patience couldn't have contained him. He needs to defend his fourth. Or, I mean, his
that's a good point, yeah. He's got Stalkers coming here, but the Stalkers aren't going to cut it. There's so many Mutalisks. With 33 of them, they should be able to take on 21 Stalkers pretty nicely. Linking back to what he can, the Archons are busy dying over here on the left side, if anything. They're not going to be able to fight this. The Roaches should be able to carry through. Impact's Mutas are just way too much in number. Down to 10 Stalkers, but here comes the Archons.
That's the backup now, but that might have been enough. The Observer is still with the army. I'm constantly checking for that, because, you know, if that dies, the Burrow Roaches never die.
But it's going to get to a point where if Patience actually has no other buildings on the map, like, Impact could probably just dive it. Like, the actual Nexus.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to always get to this point. If you didn't have the opportunity to go Phoenixes, you get stuck to this point as a Protoss, where you're just like, well, you know, I thought base trading was the only option I had, which, you know, maybe it was, but...
Impact's still money from the main, by the way. I didn't even realize.
Yeah, Impact's in a much better position. Diving on the army, diving on the Nexus, either one is probably going to win the game. But he doesn't have to potentially throw away the game to, like, 3 good Archon blasts, because, like you said, he is mining.
Oh, but look at the hallucinations. This is so cool. Impact doesn't know where it's safe to go. This, as far as he knows, he's real. There's nothing at this point that would have said, hey, I didn't actually have 7 of these hidden in the back.
They don't survive forever.
No, I know they're going to dissipate in a sec. But I'm just saying, it's a cool move, like, for Patience to be thinking about this.
It is, for sure. I mean, that could have been a base snipe when you think the Archons are real.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's ever going to outplay Parting and Departure on this map with hallucinations, but it's still cool to see. Mutalisks on the run here. We're just going to leave the unit tabs up, guys. There's not a lot of actually... building for either player, but the Roaches move away from that main. They're gonna go straight towards that Nexus, and he's gonna see this with the Observer. He's gotta pull back. Oh, this is gonna get so messy. He can just surround the Nexus. He can go for the kill. I mean, this is it. This is the throat. This is it. Patience has got no other buildings on the map as far as I can tell. Yeah, 2 pylons and 1 Nexus. Probes are running, but nope. All probes are dead. That's it. Impact wins. GG. Patience even squeezes into GG before the game forces him out. Well played. Well played. But alright, so it's game 1. Again, this is the